Hello everybody, my name is Eric Wood and today we are going to be talking about Frozen 2. Okay, I have never in my life gotten actively angry at a movie before. But then again, a movie has never actively antagonized me before in a way that Frozen has. This was maybe not the worst movie I've ever seen, because I've seen some really bad movies, but definitely the most frustrating and antagonistic movie I've ever seen. But before I can explain why that is, I need to explain why Frozen 1 was good. Frozen 1 was good because it showed this interesting and kind of complicated interpersonal conflict between two sisters trying to learn how to love each other appropriately. One sister wanting to run away all the time, one sister wanting to get closer, and etc., and that sort of thing. It was defined by its musical duets. Nearly every song in the first Frozen movie was a duet, two characters interacting with each other and having conflict within a musical format. In Frozen 2, there is one duet, and there's no conflict in it. Actually, fundamentally, there is no interpersonal conflict at all in Frozen 2. It is actually one of the most conflict-less movies I've ever seen. The heroes face almost no obstacles, and as soon as an obstacle is introduced, it is almost immediately resolved. Least of all interpersonal. The movie oh my gosh. The movie sets up themes of what you're supposed to see the movie as and what the movie's going to do and tell you, and then it just overtly dismisses them and then pats themselves on the back for, having nailed home that theme so effectively. There was literally a scene where Olaf barrels the camera and says, "We're going into an enchanted forest, which represents change and going into the unknown. I can't wait to see how each and every one of us exits differently." And it's just the most overt, obvious, aggressive insistence that the theming of this movie is about change. A main character in the movie looks you, the audience, dead in the eye and says, "This movie is about change." And, enchanted forests. I'm a guy who studied story structure before. I know what enchanted forests represent. They represented it. That's really cool. I understood that reference. But then none of the characters change. There was no character development. I can't think of a single character that exited this movie in a way that they were different than when they went into the movie. There was no conflict, there was no growth, there was no change, there was no anything. I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you have a little kid who is going to scream until your ears bleed if you don't take them to see Frozen 2, go to the movie if you have to, but there is literally nothing of value to be found within this movie. Just go watch the first Frozen. The first Frozen actually had good life lessons that can teach children and adults good, interesting things. This was just... it was just so bad. Don't go to it unless you have to, because your kid will literally scream and cry until they get to go see it. It's so bad. It's so bad.